about to start. Carlos in Denver kicking off. Lips is deep for Pittsburgh. The Steelers leading 10-7. He'll gamble at the 15 and hit hard at the 19-yard line. Hundley, Ricky Hundley leading the charge downfield. #1 pick of the Cincinnati Bengals and acquired midseason by trade with the Denver Broncos. Halftime statistics.
Stats favoring the Pittsburgh Steelers. As does the score, 10-7. Steelers have done a better job of rushing the football, better job of passing the football. You see Malone's numbers, 11 for 15, Elway 12 for 21, 2 turnovers on the Pittsburgh side. That has hurt him.
And Gary Dunn stopped a drive deep in Pittsburgh territory when the defensive tackle intercepted an Elway pass for the Steelers. Having trouble hearing the count. Abercrombie for a couple. Let's reset the offense for you. Malone, the quarterback. Pollard and Abercrombie are the running backs. A very young line. In fact, the Steelers started 4 rookies on offense today. That's a remarkable number for a playoff team. A line, makeshift line with the injuries of Wolfley, Long, Ilkin, Webster, and Wingle. Tight end, Cunningham seeing some duty along with Darrell Nelson, a rookie. And the wide receivers, Lips and Stallworth, who really came into play in that drive to the touchdown late in the first half that took the lead for Pittsburgh. Incomplete, and Malone had to dump that one off. 3rd and 8. Defensively for the Broncos, they line up in the 3-4, Chavis, Carter, and Jones. They'll change things now in a pass situation. Ryan Dennison, Busick, and Jackson are the linebackers. Louis Wright, Mike Harden at the corners. Dennis Smith and Steve Foley at safety. You see 48 Randy Robbins has joined them at a safety spot. Keith Roskoski in there at a guard position for Pittsburgh. Wide open is Lips, but he can't hang on to the ball. That would have been a first down at the 32. Pass was a little low, but one that Lips should have gathered in.
Very first series, the Denver defense comes out roaring. Pittsburgh unable to control the football, turns it over. Let's see if maybe Denver won't gamble here. They're going to get good field position anyway. They might just go for the return here. They have 10 men up.
Gerald Wilhite back at the 32.
Colquitt has never been blocked in a regular season game. One partially blocked last year against the Raiders in the playoffs.
He didn't punt in the entire first half, so this is his first attempt today. 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
They're coming.
And they block it. It'll go out of bounds. Denver's ball at the 4-yard line. Roger Jackson, 28. Unofficially, he got there first.
It looked like they loaded up on the left side, but the block came from the right side as Jackson flew in and got his hand on that football and batted away. A close look from the other side at Colquitt, and there's the bat right there. Mike Merriweather, 57, trying to protect him, but Jackson flying over the top. The ball out of bounds just inside the 4-yard line, and Denver is celebrating.
A devastating play for the Steelers and a tremendous lifting opportunity for Denver. First and goal just inside the 4-yard line. Winder, stop cold, no gain. Credit Roger Jackson with a block of Colquitt, who in 6 years never had one blocked. He had one partially blocked last year in the playoffs by the Raiders, but that one as clean a block as you'll ever see. That one caromed way out of bounds at the 4.
Colquitt is a 2-step punter and usually gets the ball away very quickly. A little bit slow that time, but I think a very hyped up Denver defense had gotten that special teams group pumped up, and Jackson flew in from the outside, got his hands on that football.
Their coach Fran Polsfoot, who is battling with cancer. How proud he is of that particular play. 2nd and goal. Wilhite looks like he wants to throw. He's going to run it, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage. That was a tackle-eligible pass. Dave Studdard, number 70, a left tackle. He had to announce he was an eligible receiver. He was the man in the end zone that Wilhite was looking for.
They were going to throw that all the way back across, but a very alert Steeler defense was not fooled at all on the play. That's another one of those tricks that Dan Reeves worked on all week.
Studdard from University of Texas. He caught a touchdown earlier. Now it's 3rd and goal, and the Steelers could turn the emotion around if they should stop the Broncos from this golden opportunity. 10-7. Pittsburgh leads early in the 3rd quarter.
2 running plays have gotten them nowhere. Let's see what Elway does here. He's out of the shotgun. Some confusion back there with Winder.
Elway under pressure, has to throw it away. And the Steelers have held. Dwayne Woodruff on the coverage of Butch Johnson, and Elway under tremendous pressure from Keith Willis.
Big Keith Willis booming in from the outside. It looked like there was some confusion there. Elway trying to talk to people. No confusion what Keith Willis was going to do. He set his sights on Elway, and Watson working one-on-one on Dwayne Woodruff, number 49. Not Watson, but Butch Johnson, number 86, working one-on-one on Woodruff. Not able to break free in time.
Now, this isn't much more than an extra point try by Carlos, but an emotional victory for the Steelers defense to stop Denver after that block punt.
Carlos is 1 for 2. He kicked that first one to the right. Let's see what he does with this one.
21 yards away, and he's got it. It's tied at 10. Well, the two defenses, we said early, Merlin, you underline that fact, the strength of the two teams, the reason they are here, the defenses. Well, the defense blocks a punt, and then the Pittsburgh defense holds Denver to just a field goal, and it's even at 10.
Boy, it's great to be on vacation.
Yeah, and we never go on vacation without Hertz.
I wouldn't risk my vacation with an unreliable rent-a-car company.
And Hertz affordable weekly rates save me money.
But people say Hertz is more reliable.
But now, Hertz costs less money.
Arnie, more reliable.
Less money.
Arnold, more reliable.
Less money.
Hertz Affordable Florida, only $79 a week. Now the rent-a-car company that gives you more is less.
Less money.
Boy, they let anybody in this place. These guys are lighting up.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hold this, will you?
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. By Allstate. For home, auto, business, health, and life, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by GE Rechargeable Batteries. GE, we bring good things to life.
Well, it's been all uphill here in Denver for the offenses. It's tied at 10, and they're working on John Elway's upper right thigh, and he was limping noticeably. He may be through.
That may be a hamstring.
They say he'll be back with a groin pull. Carlos, a good kick, and here comes Louis Lips. Right into the arms of Mecklenburg. Carl Mecklenburg from Minnesota.
The size of a defensive lineman, the speed of a linebacker. In fact, he'll even run with the defensive backs. Look how quickly he's downfield. Eludes the block right there by Todd Seabaugh, number 59, and then just grinds up little Louis Lips. And this Denver team is coming on with an emotional surge here in the second half.
Well, at Mecklenburg at 6'3" and 250, they might want to make a fullback out of him. He has 2 interceptions this year, one for 63 yards and one for 42. Flag down as Pollard is wrapped up.
It looked like the flag was thrown and the whistle blown before the play. Everyone kind of stopping.
Gives us a chance to talk about Pollard, who had an exceptional first half and maybe the key to the Pittsburgh lead at the intermission.
We had our eyes early on Abercrombie, but it's been Pollard who has carried the load so far for the Pittsburgh running attack.
Ball marked at the 9-yard line, a 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure.
You should see that picture shaking. That's the whole stadium rocking with these Denver fans. They're encouraging their defense here.
Has to be impossible for Malone to be heard. Pollard breaking tackles and gets to the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 6, which will put him over the 80-yard mark for the afternoon. We pause briefly for station identification from Denver. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 11, WPXI TV, Pittsburgh.
Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. It's tied at 10. The winner goes to Miami for the AFC Championship next Sunday. 2nd and 9. Pollard and Abercrombie behind Malone. Jim Ryan, number 50. Stopped Malone for no gain. Malone at one time had the great speed and moves of an Elway, but he's had a couple of surgeries on the knees, and he just doesn't move the same.
Dick, he can still run quickly straight ahead. That's not his problem. His problem is in the quick lateral moves. He just cannot slide laterally, and you saw him there accelerating, but when he had to go sideways, he just could not do it. 3rd. This is where the home field advantage pays off for Denver.
Stadium rocking. Malone batted in the air, almost intercepted. And that defense is getting a standing ovation. Get no respect around the country, they say, but boy, they get a standing ovation here at Mile High. Holford has to be a bit jittery as he anticipates this punt. He had to swallow the last one. Will Height back at the 39 of Denver. They just beat the 30-second clock. Beautiful kick.
That's a line drive, though, Dick. They'll get a return off of it.
Will Height to the 50, to the 47 of the Steelers. And again, a little extra push and shove. Chris Brown, rookie from Notre Dame, made the tackle. There's Joe Collier. He's looking at some of those instant photos of the various alignments.
Collier, the man who calls the plays defensively for the Bronco defense. He's the man who sent in those aggressive blitzes. You see Dennis Smith coming in, Mecklenburg coming in, an all-out blitz, and it paid off.
10-16 remaining in the third quarter of a tie game in Denver.
Hey, could I tap some of your computer expertise, son?
So you finally gave in?
Yeah, for starters, how does the disk fit into the disk drive?
Okay, the Army can train you to program, operate, or fix computers.
What does the printer interface do?
It lets the computer talk to the printer.
They talk to each other. What do they say?
Then there's a telephone modem hookup.
And the computer training you get is yours forever.
Like you're not going to be the only computer expert in the valley.
It doesn't take much looking for you to know the Mazda GLC sedan is a lot more than mere transportation. At $66.95, you also know it's an outstanding value. And when you look inside, you see seats you just wouldn't expect in an economy car. You see one of the largest interiors in its class, and you experience a precise shifting 5-speed. But one thing you may not know is just how much fun it is to drive. Mazda GLC sedan. Experience it.
Well, here in Denver territory, you can see John Elway, that wrap. It looks like he's wearing a whole bolster for that groin injury. What does that do, that injury, Nolan?
Well, if it's a severe one, you can have a hard time with it. He may not show the mobility that's made him so dangerous here in the first half. We'll have to keep an eye on it, Dick.
He starts from the Pittsburgh 47. Oops. Movement by Wright. Complete the winder, but it appeared there was a legal motion against Denver. Jim Wright, the tight end.
I don't see a flag.
Oh, how could...
I don't see a flag, Dick.
Well, it was obvious.
Well, now, the tight end can move.
Not forward.
Well, he can move forward if he stops, if there's a 1-second pause, but I don't believe he was stopped for a second, and it looked to me like he was had his head over the ball. Chuck Noll, I'm sure, absolutely frustrated on the sideline. He was looking right down the line at that play.
Well, maybe we'll have a shot of it, but they're already out of the huddle. 2nd down and 2. That's a break for the Broncos. Draw play to Winder. He's got a first down at the 33-yard line. Eric Williams made the tackle. Assist to Cole.
Elway limping on that injury, but it certainly hasn't affected the strength of his arm. It may hold them, keep them from calling some of those rollouts that they've tried to use to get him away from the rush of the Pittsburgh defense. On that last play, you see him as he's definitely treating that leg rather tenderly.
First down at Pittsburgh 33, 8:50 left third quarter. A tie game at 10. Looking for Watson. There he is. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A gain of 8.
And it appears that every time Elway throws that ball and stretches that groin, he injures it a little bit more. He came away from that last throw really nursing that pulled groin, but again showing you the great strength of his arm as he gunned the ball to the outside. Now look at him as he comes down here. Look at the way he comes away from that ball. I think he's going to have trouble going through the rest of this game effectively.
2nd and 2. Winder, big hole, and a first down at the Pittsburgh 20 before Cole can wrestle him down.
Now the gauntlet has been thrown down by the Bronco defense. They've come out and dominated so far in the second half. Tony Dungy, the man who calls the defenses for the Pittsburgh side of the line, has got to get his troops rallied here. He's up in the booth. We got a shot of him earlier in the day. Now he'll be sending those defenses down through one of his coaches on the sideline and out to David Little, who's his leader on the field.
29 years of age, some say will be the first black head coach in the NFL. Gunning the ball incomplete to Butch Johnson, who made a gallant try, and it was Johnson, you'll recall, as a member of the Dallas Cowboys, who made a diving catch in the end zone that helped to eliminate Denver, the Broncos, back in that big year of '77.
Elway so strong that at times the ball is zipping and it's just hard to handle. That one low and away, and like a catcher jumping out of the crouch. It's kind of hard for Johnson to get his hands on it.
Steeler defense trying to stop Denver again.
And I wonder if that pulled groin may bother his throwing motion. We'll have to keep an eye on him. It may stop him from that good follow-through.
With the Steelers offside, yes, a flag is down. Elway gunning, touchdown! Steve Watson, 9th catch today for Watson.
We've got a flag down on the field, though.
It's against the Steelers. They were leaning offside. Steve Watson capping another remarkable year. 9 catches for Watson. And he's working on a career best 158 yards today. And that was a bullet thrown by Elway. Try for point by Carlos to make it 17-10. It's just good.
We'll go back and pick up that touchdown throw by John Elway, looking right into his face. He starts up and guns the ball right into the camera and right into the arms of Steve Watson.
Boy, let's watch the throwing action of Elway. You saw he had to be right on the money. Donnie Shell was on his target, and although he limps a little on the follow-through, he says, that's right down the middle, Steve Reich.
And the solo by Watson. They've got them all for us downstairs today as Watson makes his little break inside. It's Donnie Shell trying to cover, but that ball just zipped in there. No chance to knock it away.
Give me a light. Bud Light? If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer
Gotcha.
with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
We looked at a lot of sport trucks, but we bought the lowest priced one in America, Mazda's new V2000 Sport LE. And while it's nice to know it comes standard with sporty two-tone paint, radials with spoker wheels, chrome bumpers, bucket seats, and a 5-speed, it's even nicer to know it's priced over $1,300 less than Nissan's or Toyota sport trucks.
Sakes alive, sakes alive, sakes alive. Only Mazda's got a sport truck for just $67.95. Sakes alive.
The best and the brightest of the bowls are on NBC. As the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl pits sensational running back Keith Byers of 5th-ranked Ohio State against the Pac-10 champion USC Trojans. College football's best and brightest. On New Year's Day, America loves its sports. NBC style.
Well, the #1 son is Steve Watson, whose 9th catch from Elway has given the Broncos and their frenzied fans the lead 17-10 with 7:15 left in the quarter, and it is an uproar here at Mile High Stadium. Lips at the 1. Louis Lips looking for a crack and fights to the 34. 33 yards on the return.
Go back and take one more peek at that. Well, we're going to take a peek at the man who made that play. Steve Watson getting a well-deserved rest on the sideline.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot in temperament of Steve Largent, the great receiver with the Seahawks. He's very mild-mannered, low-keyed sort of guy. Expresses himself in a different manner on the field. This crowd trying to make it impossible for Malone to be heard. All day to throw, and there's Lips. First down at the Denver 43. Louis Lips, what a pick he was out of Southern Mississippi. 23 yards on that play.
There's Lips breaking down. He's got plenty of time to work on Louis Wright. Wright knows he's got help down deep. Lips finally hooking up inside of that help. That's the safety back there behind him, but gave him plenty of room on the play. You'll see it from behind. Malone looks left and then finds Lips right there. Dennis Smith finally making the play.
Malone's protection, the key to that play. Frank Pollard trying to get outside. And he's ridden down at the 40. Steve Busick making the play, the backer from Southern California.
Busick came up with that football after the play. You see the Pollard now has 9 carries for 71 yards, but he does not go anywhere. Watch Busick strip the ball right here. Look at him go after that football. Now he'll come away from that stack with the football. The official said that he was down, but that's the way Denver has taken the ball away all year long.
And
it looks like Pollard hurt his shoulder, Dick.
Abercrombie gets the call, and he dances close to a first down, and I believe he has a first down inside the 33-yard line. Dennis Smith at safety making the play. Smith, one of those rare athletes at safety that has the talent to cover man for man, and that is a tremendous bonus in the deep defense of the Broncos as you look at Pollard.
Well, the control of this game established on the line of scrimmage, and right now the Steeler offensive line trying to get it back. Rostowski has done a good job in there. Wolfley, Webster, Long, and Ilkin all trying to get this thing moving. They want to get the ball back into the end zone, get this game back to a tie.
3rd and inches? No. First down, Pittsburgh. This is what they're working for today. $10,000. The winner today automatically will go up to the $28,000 level, and then the winner next week in Miami shooting for the Super Bowl prize, 46 or 64. It really is the $64,000 question. The experts saying Miami and San Francisco, but there's some other teams that are going to try to beat the odds. Wide open is Lips, and he has another first down near the 15. Louis Wright body slams him, but Lips holding on to the football and a 17-yard advance.
A nice throw by Malone. Again, time to throw the football, and they've established that running game. They're giving themselves room right here, but look how deep Louis Wright plays Lips, respecting his speed. Lips cutting it up short. Louis slipping a little bit. I don't think he could have been back in time anyway, but that's the Denver philosophy. Keep everything in front of you.
4:30 left in the quarter. Pittsburgh driving toward what would be a tying touchdown. It's 17-10 Denver. Abercrombie. Well, you could see the instincts of Abercrombie setting up the blocks. That instantaneous little fake and move as he feels the defense. It didn't look as if there was much there, but he gained nearly 5.
Well, he just sacrificed his body on that one, threw himself in there. With Pollard out of there, they lose some of the punch. Pollard is an excellent blocker.
He's back in now, Merlin.
All right, Pollard back on the field. Well, you got a day like today, you don't stay out of there with a little shoulder, Nick. You go right back in there and hammer.
Well, they've been alternating to Lips. He started it with a 23-yard gain, then Pollard ran, and Abercrombie, then Lips, then Abercrombie. And now, will it be Lips' turn? Or will they stay on the ground? Both Stallworth and Lips to the left. He threw that one away. No, it's a touchdown to Lips. No, he didn't catch the ball. Did not catch the ball. Well, it was to Lips after all, that ad-libbing, and he had his hands on it, but Louis Wright did a good job of slamming in there to knock it away.
The two defensive ends, Rulon Jones and Barney Shava, 75 and 79, finally breaking through that offensive line to get pressure on Mark Malone. Malone back, has plenty of time, but finally he gets two defensive ends through on him. Now watch him here, just throws that ball deep, sees Lips breaking across deep. Lips goes up, gets his hand on the ball, but simply could not control it. And I think that's a ball that ordinarily he may have caught.
Yeah, terrific throw for Malone under pressure. Now Lips will normally catch that one. It's 3rd and 5 from the 10. Quickie to Lips, and he is going to get the touchdown anyway, or is he? He's right. Oh, yes, touchdown.
Yeah. And you got a reaction from Chuck Noll on the sideline on that one. The thing that is rather amazing about Louis Lips is that he has such great strength for a small receiver, and he is not afraid to stick his nose in there. Good body control, good strength. He doesn't look to be that strong, but you saw him there fighting out of the blocks, fighting out of the tackles, and getting himself in position to surge across that goal line.
Here's the try for point by Anderson that would tie it at 17. Colquitt to hold. We're even again with 3:19 left. Well, Lips said to me, he said, hey, I'm not small. I'm just short. 5'10", but I'm 190, and I may be a little deceptive.
Here's that last play. Just a quick slant pattern. But watch what Lips does with the football. Breaking one tackle, breaking a second tackle away from Foley, and fighting two defenders to finally stick that ball out over the end zone. All he has to do is break the plane. Now, you'll see it again from a different angle. There's the second miss by Foley, and now fighting, and leaning out. See him sticking that ball out. That's what broke it. That's what got the touchdown for them.
He doesn't give Stravinsky that big a hand. 3:19 remaining in the quarter. It's even at 17.
Isn't it time you experienced the outstanding total performance of the Mazda RX-7? Because only then can you feel the seemingly unending flow of power from its unique rotary engine and experience exceptional handling from its near-perfect weight distribution. Only then can you appreciate its aerodynamics at work. Only then will you understand why the RX-7 has become a legend in offering superior sports car value. Mazda RX-7. Experience it.
When things are out of control, a person could use the personal computer software programs in IBM's Assistant series. Start by entering facts and figures into Filing Assistant. Then move the facts around to work up a plan. Or draw up a graph. There's Writing Assistant to help you handle words. And Reporting Assistant to pull everything together. The Assistant series from IBM. Getting all your ducks in a row has never been easier.
NBC invites you to the television event of 1985. AD, where good and evil collide.
Well, that young rookie Louis Lips is in the early running for our Bud Light Most Valuable Player today is Steve Watson, his counterpart with the Broncos.
Well, two of the game breakers we mentioned.
Anderson kicks it off. He really roots it. Wilhite not going to take a chance. They'll start at the 20 with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third period.
When you pull a muscle in a game, like a groin muscle, and we're talking about John Elway, very often the thing that hurts you most is having to come off the field and sit. We'll keep an eye on Elway to see how, and it looks like he's moving pretty well, but we will watch him anyway. Let's see what the Steeler defense is going to do, Dick. They're back even now. They know that they've got to put some pressure on Elway. They've got to start making things happen defensively.
Now you look at Dunn. He still has that Joe Green, that off stance.
Yeah, that's that old offset.
Elway comes out throwing to Watson, and he's got another one for a painful 5. And that gives him a career-tying high of 10. Well, that breaks his mark. 10 receptions for Watson, 10 for 163 yards. That's the most he's ever caught in an NFL game. He saved his best for a most important afternoon.
Elway comes right out throwing the ball, but you saw the hitting by the Steelers on that play. That scoring drive, 7 plays, a long drive, 66 yards. Denver does not usually allow people to carry it down the field and stick it in the end zone that way.
6 yards for Watson on the catch. Ooh, tight end right has a first down at the 32.
You see the throwing action of Elway. He throws that ball so hard. In fact, I was talking to Dan Reeves about Elway's difficulties in that blizzard against Green Bay earlier in the year when Elway was almost totally inefficient, and he said the reason he could not hang on to the ball. He throws so hard. You see that powerful throwing motion. I've never seen a quarterback with as much arm strength or using as much arm strength in throwing the ball.
There's a Yankee signee, a baseball player using the arm and the bat, a good hitter, but he's elected now to concentrate on the NFL duties. First down, Winder. One thing that Steeler defense has denied that a lot of teams couldn't stop is that cutback by Winder. They seem to be waiting for him.
Well, if you talk to people who have watched this Steeler defense, in fact, Reeves said it himself. He said they are the most active defense we've played, and great strength at linebacker, great speed at linebacker. It's a characteristic of both of these defensive teams. They really flow and swarm to the football.
We have a good statistic to show you on that. The 1,000-yard rushers this year and how they've fared against that Pittsburgh defense. Winder is the 6th. Ooh, was declobbered, and the ball is dead. That is not a fumble. As Keith Gary, number 92, drilled Elway. It's a sack of 9 yards.
And I've got to believe that Elway's injury may be hurting him. Ordinarily, you probably would have seen Elway reversing out of there. He's not afraid to whip out of there. Let's watch him here. He feels the pressure, and you kind of saw him being tentative right there. I think ordinarily he would have whipped out of there and run the opposite way, but that injury is hurting his mobility at this moment.
The other thing is it may be a tip for the Pittsburgh defense. They're going to figure, hey, we're going to know where to find him now. We're going to look for him in that pocket instead of his rolls or any scrambles.
That takes away some of the secret and some of the mystique of this Bronco offense if Elway is back in that pocket and can't get out.
Third down and 19. Open is Alexander, but not for long as he's ripped to the turf by number 41, or was that Donnie Shell, 31?
No, that's 41. It was Sam Washington who did it. Washington following all the way in from the outside, but look at Elway. He's suffering with that groin, hoping he could get the ball into the hands of a receiver who could sprint, make something out of that play. But Washington following him all the way in, and you'll see it here. Washington coming in from the outside. Alexander has the ball there, but again, defensively, they know how far he has to go for that first down. Shell, number 31, also there to assist on that tackle.
Looking at the clock, they don't have to punt it. They can let the clock run out here in the third quarter, and apparently Chris Norman would rather kick in the other direction. 1 second, and that's it. The end of the third quarter. 10 points for the Broncos, but the Steelers have come back with a touchdown of their own in the third quarter, and after 3, it's tied at 17. We'll be back in Denver after these messages from your local station.
Monday, a New Year's Eve special from Florida, the Orange Bowl Parade. Share the excitement with host Joe Garagiola and Grand Marshal Bob Hope. Then, Robert Conrad stars on the NBC Monday night movie as a hard-nosed Marine trying to shape up a school of misfits.
Let me welcome you to planet Earth.
And it's Hard Knocks, Monday.
There's something you should know about Diet Colas.
Those with 100% NutraSweet, step forward.
All of Pepsi's Diet Colas contain 100% NutraSweet, no saccharin.
Those with saccharin, step forward.
Whereas all of Coca-Cola's diet soft drinks
Move your cans.
contain almost twice as much saccharin as they do NutraSweet. So if you want 100% NutraSweet, buy Diet Pepsi Free, and Pepsi Light.
All 100% NutraSweet, 100% taste.
Once there was a golden age when doing something well was its own reward. That tradition continues in new IC Golden Lager. Brewed a little at a time using the finest two-row barley and imported Bavarian hops. IC Golden Lager, croissant slowly the old world way to bring out a rich, smooth, golden taste. Relive the golden age for a golden taste above the rest. Make it golden.
Discover the quick response and smooth performance of Exxon Extra, our highest octane unleaded premium gasoline ever. Its extra boost of octane quiets the knocks, silences the pings for extra smooth performance. Exxon Extra, quality you can count on.
Channel 11, WPXI TV Pittsburgh. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob. And by Wang. Wang puts people in front of computers.
The second season for Pittsburgh and Denver starting today. And through 3 quarters, they're even. Those statistics actually mean nothing. Throw those out. They're tied in the game score, and they're playing 15 minutes or sudden death to decide who goes to Miami. Chris Norman will open the fourth quarter with a punt to Lewis Lips. Dangerous return man going to the Cone Bowl for his returns.
Very high. Deliberate kick.
Lips. Bubbles! And a scramble. Denver says they have it.
It looked like he lost the ball at the bottom of the stack, but he was reaching and grabbing, and now they say he has it.
Oh, Lips on a scramble to recover his mistake in that pile of humanity. It's interesting that kicker, as he's watching the flight of the ball and knowing those men are coming down on attack.
Here he is. He looks up at the football. You saw the quick look down, and he was looking away as that ball arrived, looking at the rush. Here's another shot of it. You see him drop his eyes to look for the rush just a little before it arrived, and that was what killed him. But he fought for that ball under the stack and got it.
That took an athlete to scramble back and get it. There was nothing but orange around him. Time out. It's tied at 17.
A lot of long-distance companies would like you to think they're just like AT&T. But take a closer look and see how different they really are. No operator service. No immediate credit for wrong numbers, and no service from many small towns. Only one long-distance company gives you full service.
only AT&T. Sometimes there's just no substitute for the real thing. AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
This electronic timer will show how fast Chloraseptic can relieve sore throat pain.
My throat's really red, I'm sure, and it has a raw feeling to it.
Will you try Chloraseptic?
Yes.
Now watch the timer.
Oh, it numbs it. It's fantastic. It's like somebody's coated it with a medication.
With doctor-recommended Chloraseptic, relief is just seconds away.
January's champions take to the ice. He thrilled the world with his gold medal performance at Sarajevo. Now, see Scott Hamilton in his only pro competition this year as he takes on Tyler Cranston at the World Professional Figure Skating Championships on NBC Sports World.
I don't think we've ever seen that shot before on television. Ted Nathanson, Larry Cirillo producing this. He looks away from the ball. It's still in the air now. The ball's in there now. He looks back up, and then he'll take another look.
It's the last look right there as he tried to pick up the coverage that cost him the ball, fumbling it.
But he had the presence to fall on his mistake at the 15. Tied at 17. Almost the entire quarter remaining. Fourth period in Denver. Malone, wide open Abercrombie. And the Steeler receivers seem to be open consistently, as much as we've seen any offense against this Bronco defense this year.
Well, they're getting great protection, and that really has been the key. The Broncos very aggressive up front. They're throwing a lot of people, and that means man-on-man coverage. The result is that when Malone has had time to throw the football, you see Collier trying to get his defensive troops fired up. When Malone has had time, he has been able to find his receivers.
6 yards on the play. Weechie Thompson at 6'6" in motion. And Abercrombie blasting out across the 30 to the 31, and a Pittsburgh first down.
Again, the trap play. We mentioned how Pittsburgh's offensive line would be trapping the Denver defenders. Look back into that offensive line, you'll see an official upended on this particular play. Look how big a hole they're able to open up. And again, whoa, look out. Running over everybody in there, Abercrombie.
Now that umpire who has to stand in there like an umpire, Art Demis is 78. I don't know if that was Demis that we saw there, but he's the umpire who has to fight off those blockers. Malone again, plenty of time to find Pollard. And Frank Pollard is to the 40, and near another first down before Jim Ryan and Dennis Smith can collaborate.
And it's apparent that the Dick Hoke, who coaches these backs, has told them, when you get in traffic, you cover up that football. Pollard locking that ball up with two hands as that Denver defense swarmed out there, was able to control it. That's a fine gain, second and short. In this particular situation, the offense can do anything they want to do. It's literally almost a throwaway down for them. Often this is an opportunity to try a deep shot downfield.
Now they're going to go to Pollard, and he stopped right at the 40. Busick and Wright, and Louis Wright coming up forced that play from the corner.
The Broncos have been putting their halfbacks up close to the line in a wing position, and they're using those halfbacks to kind of bump the defensive ends. In that particular situation, he was blocking, but Louis Wright flying in from the outside, showing you his athletic ability, shut off all of the alleys to the outside, and there was no room inside for Frank Pollard.
Louis Wright said, I have the typical cornerback personality, introverted and sometimes temperamental.
3 running backs in the game right now for Pittsburgh.
3rd and 1. Pollard has the first down and more, and Louis Wright saved a touchdown. That had been a John Riggins special, because Wright was the last man between Pollard and a long rump.
Number 38, Elton Veals, one of those rookies that we've been talking about, in at a wing position. He'll start in motion and head down and become a blocker as he starts up into the line, burying a shoulder right in Tom Jackson's ribs, making some room inside for Pollard. That's the kind of trapping, and boy, they come from everywhere.
And again, The rushing offense going to Pollard and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was the key to the game, both coaches said. It's tied now at 17, but the Steelers seem to be moving the ball more easily, much more. Oh, almost a steal by Steve Foley, intended for tight end Ben Cunningham. Foley, who has 6 interceptions to tie teammate Mike Harden for the club lead this year. He was a quarterback at Tulane. In fact, wanted to play that position so much he didn't sign with the NFL. Originally, he went to Jacksonville of the old World Football League as he wanted a quarterback, realized maybe the scouts and the coaches were right, that he would be better off somewhere else, and now a star at safety, and in fact has 39 career interceptions. 2nd and 10. Big hole, and he is to the Denver 46-yard line. A gain of at least 6 more, and maybe a 7-yard gain. 3rd down, and between 3 and 4 yards. Earlier in the game, Rich Ehrenberg on a kickoff return to start the game was hit in a high tackle, broke his nose, and he's still suffering a headache from that blow, and obviously we were wrong. He will not play today.
The Steelers continue to go right up the middle. Walt Boyer in there for Reuben Carter. They'll stack it up inside.
9 Broncos on the line of scrimmage, and one of them stops Pollard. The Steelers will have to punt. Barney Chavis, 79, the veteran from South Carolina State, met him in the hole.
With all the youth and all of the enthusiastic youngsters on this team, appropriate that one of the 12-year veterans, one of the real pros on Joe Collier's defense, would be there to make that big play.
So just as the Steelers seem to be moving the ball with ease, Foley makes a fine play on defense, then Chavis follows up with a stop, and on 4th down and 4, Colquitt to punt. Wilhite is at the 10. Too much time, the 30 seconds, and that won't bother Colquitt. He'll just be able to hit it a little harder.
Amazing how that block has affected the Steeler punting team, though. They looked as the same setup was laid up out there by the Bronco rushing team, and you saw some very worried bodies as they were getting ready to try and block.
Merlin, often a forgotten, we were talking about this yesterday, a forgotten man in football is the up back in that punt formation. He's the one that has to call the defensive alignment, and that pressure rests on Ron. Is that Ron Johnson? Can't quite read his number. No, it's not Johnson. 26, Scoop Gillespie, the rookie from William Jewell, is the man who's the up back, has to call out the defenses. Here they come. Wilhite, well, that was a half catch. And he covers at the 14-yard line. He started to raise his hand, then he dropped it. That would have been an interesting call for the official. It was not a clear over the head for a fair catch. It's academic. He falls on the fumble at the 14, a 37-yard punt by Colquitt.
Wilhite a little bit disgusted with himself. Would have had a chance to get a few yards back had he been able to control that football.
It's a 10-minute season, tied at 17.
It's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you going, it's Michelob.
Well, this one matching the drama of the earlier game as the Bears withheld and beat Washington in Redskin territory. It's tied with 10:07 left. I predict a defensive player is going to win it.
Well, Dick, you're talking to an old defensive player, and we haven't had a score. Both these defenses have scored a lot of touchdowns. 8 touchdowns on the year scored by the Pittsburgh defense, and Denver has 5 or 6 on the year. So both of these teams are capable of doing that and making the big plays. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see that happen.
John Elway starts from his own 14. A little draw to Rick Harrison. Oh, defense waiting for that one. Gary Dunn, 6'3" and 265. He's now the veteran in that defensive line, 8 years, and goes back to the Super Bowl champion Steelers.
The thought right now for the Pittsburgh defense is to shut Denver down. Keep them down here. If they can force a punt here, or ideally take the ball away, they've got an excellent opportunity to put it in the end zone. And Dick, again, even though these 2 kickers have each missed a field goal today, 2 excellent kickers on the field, it may come down to that, and we'll play this one until someone wins.
2nd and 10. Elway guns it to Watson on one hop, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10. Now there's a pass that Elway normally would hit easily, but under some pressure, and with that groin injury, it may have affected the trajectory.
The further we go in this game, the more difficulty Elway will have. That pulled groin will tighten up every time he comes off the field, and you see him, he took a shot on his leg on that play, and again, because of his lack of mobility, he becomes more of a sitting target. Look at Merriweather, 57, coming off the outside, throwing himself through there, and it was his body that buried in the back of Elway's leg right there. That's the opposite leg from the one that Elway has wrapped.
3rd and 10, shotgun from the 14. There's that shovel pass to Wilhite, breaks 1 tackle and fights to the 22, but he'll be short by a couple. John Goodman saved a 1st down, and Elway limps off.
They're trying to beat that defensive end. You see John Kubiak on the side, Gary Kubiak on the sideline, and Kubiak has gone in several times during the year and played extremely well. So if Elway continues to have problems and that pulled groin gets worse, we could conceivably see Kubiak in this ball game.
He was the one who led the Broncos to what was a very big early win against the Raiders in Los Angeles when Elway was hurt. Chris Norman to punt. Lewis Lips back at his 36. Very high. Lips takes a look at the defense. No fair catch. And he's caught from behind at the 37 by Ricky Hundley. Boy, that big linebacker showing you why he was a #1 pick, to be able to chase down Lips from behind. He's 6'2" and 238 from Arizona.
Well, Lips, we showed you the drama a moment ago as he was looking. Here he is again. The punt, you see the punter, he looks back, looks at the coverage, back up at the football, back at the coverage. Boy, that is dangerous business, but this one he fields cleanly and gets away for short yardage before he's finally run down by number 98, Ricky Hundley.
No company can simply deliver a computer and feel it has delivered on the promise of office automation. At Wang, we provide service and support along with our computers so that the people who use them will always be able to perform to their fullest potential. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
Hey, you know what my job is? Well, this is my office, a movie set. Yeah, I'm a stuntman, and I depend on my equipment.
That's why Terry Leonard likes a tough Ford Ranger like this one. With a V6 engine, no small V6 tops for power. Tough twin I-beam suspension, a strong ladder-type frame, tough double-box walls, and the widest cab in its class.
That's terrific, Terry! It's easy for my Ford Ranger and me.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. The Hula Bowl spotlights Heisman Trophy winner, the phenomenal quarterback Doug Flutie in his final collegiate appearance. Plus, senior All-Americans from our nation's top schools. College football's best and brightest, the Hula Bowl. America loves its sports, NBC style.
College All-Stars on NBC Saturday from Hawaii, the Hula Bowl. You'll see Doug Flutie, the Heisman Trophy winner, also Tony DeGreat, the Lombardi Award winner from Texas, So Saturday and Sunday next, more great football for you. The Hula Bowl on Saturday. It'll be Miami against the winner here this afternoon for the AFC Championship on Sunday. Pittsburgh opens up at its 37-yard line. We're tied at 17 with 8 minutes, 28 seconds left. Abercrombie finally knocked out of bounds at the 46 of Denver, and Abercrombie ripping off another big gain, and Elway with that facial expression acting as though he may not be able to continue. It's not the groin pull now, it's the left knee. You saw him buckle under on that play where Merriweather rolled on his back of his ankle.
Again, credit that to the lack of mobility. Ordinarily, with those quick feet, Elway would have been out of that pocket, would have been sliding and stepping, but he just can't move, and it's cost him in the second half.
First down, Steelers on an 18-yard run by Abercrombie. This time it's Pollard through a big hole, and he has another Pittsburgh first down at the 33. It has been rare this year that a team or a runner has been able to move effectively against that Bronco defense, but Pittsburgh has done it today.
They've given up an awful lot of yardage against the pass. In fact, 27th in the league yardage against the pass, but the trapping of the Pittsburgh offensive line, and that was Ross Toski, 63, with a trap block there to spring Pollard through the line, has just been devastating today.
99 yards now for Pollard on the ground. This is Abercrombie, and he rips off another gain of about 9 yards, and moving at will against that Denver defense.
Abercrombie still on the ground, slow to get up. Now he's bouncing up and heading back.
Merlin Abercrombie now has caught 4 passes, and he has run 14 more times. That's 18 carries. That means 179 times this year he's handled the ball without a fumble. All year long, Abercrombie has not coughed up the ball.
Paying big dividends after a long wait on that first-round draft pick by the Steelers.
First down well within field goal range. It's tied at 17, and Abercrombie did not get off the ball well that time.
I think he knew how much he needed for that first down. I think he's picked it up. Gary Anderson strips off his warm-up, and he's starting to visualize himself kicking that ball through the goalpost, through the upright. You see him right there. He'll be thinking his way through that kick.
And he's thinking his number 1. He'd rather have it a 1 than a 3, and there's the 3-man Carlos. Field goals have decided 8 of Denver's 16 games. Half of their games were 3-point games, Denver winning 6, losing 2.
And how many times have we seen Denver's defense come up with a big play as you get down deep in their end of the field?
First down at the 23. Abercrombie. He's caught for a loss by Dennis Smith. He has played an outstanding game. Smith, the strong safety, 6'3", 200 pounds. He was a 7-foot high jumper in college, but he's aggressive as well.
You talked to the coaches on the Pittsburgh side of the line, and one of the people they singled out very quickly was Dennis Smith, for his great athletic ability and his hitting ability. He really comes up there and socks people.
Less than 6 minutes remaining. 17 all. Second down and 13. Malone over the middle. Ouija Thompson to the 11, and that'll be a first down for Pittsburgh as Thompson, the rookie from Florida State, has his first catch.
Thompson has been a decoy much of the day. Here he's working one-on-one on Louis Wright, goes inside. Wright knew he had help inside, but suddenly there was no one there. Ouija Thompson, fighting for that extra yardage, did not have the first down until he turned upfield. 6'6". He stretched his frame on that one.
You could see he made those 17 catches during the season count, and better than 17-yard average. Abercrombie for 3, maybe 4. They certainly have tested the heart of that Denver defense, and that must mean that Mike Webster, that All-Pro center of the Steelers, is doing his job. You pointed that out as a key matchup at the start today, Merlin.
Webster working now on Reuben Carter. He was on Boyer earlier. Stan Jones, the defensive line coach for the Broncos, rolls his people in and out, tries to keep them fresh in there, but that has not kept them from being violated by this Pittsburgh offensive line as they've gone right up the middle repeatedly today.
Clock continues to run. 4:19 left. Malone. Tom Jackson gets him at the 9-yard line. The talking tackler. He bills himself Tom Jackson. I don't know if that was a planned play or not, or whether it was a mix-up, as Malone looked like somewhat of a bootleg.
Maybe we can. It's a planned play. Yes. And Jackson bought no part of it. I believe he was coming on the blitz on that play. And, of course, coming as he was already committed. He was not even looking at that fake handoff.
Dan Reeves applauding Jackson's defense. It's now 3rd and call it 8 for a first down, 9 for a touchdown.
Let's see if they go back to Louis Lips on this play.
Lips to the right out of your picture. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Calvin Sweeney, and it was deflected, I believe, by either Robbins or Steve Wilson.
I think Randy Robbins, number 48, and we saw him make a leaping bat-away earlier in the game. He's come up with another big play here to deny the touchdown, but they do have a short shot at a field goal with the score knotted at 17, an opportunity for Pittsburgh to go ahead.
Pressure on Gary Anderson. It's a 26-yard attempt. No good. He missed to the left. Oh, my. Unbelievably, the kicker with the best average in the entire NFL career-wise has missed 2 today. And that one just sliding wide left.
He missed the first one earlier to the right, and this one hooking off to the left. Well, you saw Anderson's reaction. What about Dan Reeves' reaction?
He had to consider the 3 points in the bank. But he gets a reprieve, and with 3:35 left.
Big, fast, nimble, durable, versatile. 5,000 new parts, German engineered. Introducing the new Volkswagen Golf, the new definition of hatchbacks. When you work on the new Golf as hard as we have, for as long as we have, everything just falls into place. Golf. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Reliable Gary Anderson, an off day in this playoff contest as he has missed a relatively easy 26-yard chance. And now the Denver Broncos, they've gone to school in this situation 8 times this year. The games have been decided by 3 points in the final 4 minutes, and they are 6-2, and here they go again.
And Elway trying to get this crowd down. You hear them. They're a knowledgeable crowd. They know he needs quiet here. They give it to him.
Starting from the 20, a handoff to Winder. Sammy Winder for 5. Sam Washington came up from the corner to make the tackle. David Little there as well, and we'll watch the clock for you. 3:20 left.
Reeves a little upset. The substitution late going on the field. He wanted Alexander out there, and big Daddy Wright coming off the field gives Elway a little bit of outside speed and takes the big tight end out of the ball game.
Second and 5. the 25. Intercepted by Eric Williams at the 20. Williams is out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Eric Williams.
By Eric Williams. Who was out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
And just as Elway and his Bronco teammates felt they had dodged a fatal bullet when that field goal went to the left, suddenly the Pittsburgh defense jumps up and bites them. Anticipating the play, Elway gunning the ball, throwing into coverage, and Eric Wright just stepped right in front of the receiver, moves all the way down the field. Eric Williams, not Eric Wright, gets all the way down, finally knocked out of bounds, but there's an excellent opportunity to get 7, and I'm sure that Gary Anderson, barring that, would love another chance at 3.
Elway watching the second-year man from North Carolina State take it all the way to the 2.
You've got to believe, too, that that injury has something to do with it, Dick. He's not as sharp now as he was early in the ballgame.
Now, Denver, they've had some brilliant goal line stands this year. This will be their toughest test. Pollard toppled at the 1. Clock is running. 2:36, 2:35 left. And Chuck Noll probably saying the ideal thing for us would be to score on 4th down and use as much of that time as we can so that Denver won't have opportunity to come down and get one of their own. He said, keep it going there. Take your time.
Keep that clock moving. 2:17, 2:16, counting down. They've got to run a play. They can't just let it run out on the 30-second clock.
Pollard over the 100-yard mark. Fake to Abercrombie, wide open, and what a play by Mike Harden as he denied Darrell Nelson a touchdown. And the defense, that was one saving touchdown. Robbins, a rookie, has saved 2 others. Last-minute deflection.
You might ask, how in the world did he know the ball was arriving? He's reading the pass receiver, and as soon as his hands went up, Harden's hand shot out and touched that ball, and Chuck Noll, who had gambled with the play, who had run the play-action pass, knew that it was just a fraction of an inch away from a completion.
Gary Anderson, if the Steelers don't make it, may have another try. 3rd down. Pollard is stopped, but his second effort scores. And credit that to Pollard. They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and the big fullback from Baylor, second effort, has put it in the end zone.
Twice today, the Bronco defense has stopped Pollard short of the line, and Pollard's leg strength and determination has given him a touchdown. Boy, he has had an outstanding day here.
A season that began with the troubles involving the superstar Franco Harris, the fullback. And Harris ultimately, in a very painful decision for the Rooneys and Noll and Pittsburgh, did not play for this team this year. Pollard took his place and has saved his best game in his 5-year career for Denver today. Anderson to try the point. 1:59 will be left for Denver. (24-17).
You'll see the surge of the line here. You'll see Pollard. He is hit in the backfield right there. Stopped. His legs knocked out momentarily, but he turned back inside, kept his balance, and came up to the goal line, popped that ball over, and then driven back. And what did Chuck Noll have to say about it? Well, I think his thought, that's Steeler football.
And he may be writing his own fantastic finish in Denver today.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1970, Tom Dempsey will try to do the impossible, kick a 63-yard field goal. Joe Scarpati gets the ball down. Dempsey caught it solid, and it's good. Tom Dempsey has just kicked a 63-yard field goal. With no time left on the clock, the Saints beat the Lions 19-17.
Every time you enjoy beverages from aluminum cans, remember, those cans are worth saving. They can be recycled and made into brand new aluminum cans. So don't throw your aluminum cans away. They're valuable, but only if you save them. Find out who's raising money through recycling in your neighborhood and save yours for them.
Remember, recycling is another good reason to buy your beverages in aluminum cans.
Pittsburgh by a touchdown with 1:59 left. Denver has all 3 of its timeouts. Anderson will kick it to Lang and Wilhite. And for most of this day, his kickoffs have been so deep, the Broncos have had to take the touchback. He drives this one. And again, Wilhite in the end zone gambles. Oh, my, did he come scooting out of there to the 30-yard line. And Scoop Gillespie tripped him up. Elway stays in the game. Bad leg injury and a groin pull.
Kind of reminiscent of Robbie Bosco in that BYU Holiday Bowl with his injury, bringing his BYU team back to a victory. There's Wilhite booming upfield. Boy, that hurts to hit on the back of your neck. And this hometown crowd encouraging Elway to get his Bronco offense in gear. They've got 71 yards to go to the end zone.
Watson is key receiver out of the picture to the left. And he had to throw that one away. Alexander, man-to-man coverage immediately following. Coverage will be airing the Silver Spoons program. We'd like to welcome those viewers that have just joined us. Denver and Pittsburgh here in the playoff challenge. The winner to go to Miami next week, and the Steelers lead the Broncos 24-17. There's the lineup on NBC tonight that will be capped off by one of the truly outstanding motion pictures of the last several years. Henry Fonda, almost a personal tribute to the man, as life would have it, on Golden Pond. Elway blitzed by Little, and it'll be 3rd and long, and Denver spends a timeout. The 4th sack.
Patrick Boland, Denver's owner, on the sideline looking on. I'm sure terribly concerned, but again, you've got to believe that a healthy John Elway would not have been trapped on that play as they ran the blitz inside. David Little, he's really kind of helpless in there now. He's a sitting target for that defense.
Well, there's 4 down territory now with the clock still running, 1:25. They have their 3 timeouts remaining, but now they need big yardage. There's Watson. Too tall for him, and he was open. That would have been a first down out at the 40-yard line.
Working one-on-one on Sam Washington. He got himself open, and Elway again under pressure. Took as much time as he could. Got that ball away, but slightly above Watson's head. Let's look at Steve Watson getting downfield now. Sam Washington will not let him get behind. Just barely too high to handle.
And there again, how much does that injury affect his ability to plant and get through on his throws? And when you can't do that, you tend to be high, especially when a man is draped all over you.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. Bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Motor Trend magazine puts cars to the test. And now every test run is made with Shell SU2000 Super Unleaded Gasoline. Patented Shell SU2000 is one of the highest octane gasolines you can buy. And it fights critical engine deposits that can cause knock. Try the gasoline Motor Trend uses. Shell SU2000.
Starting to wear the smile of a winner. Frank Pollard is our Bud Light most valuable player today. Congratulations. He'll have $1,000 donated to the United Way on behalf of Frank Pollard and his performance today. 107 yards for Pollard. His best day of the year.
He's got to be walking on air on that sideline, looking up at the clock and realizing with 1:20, 4th and more than 20 yards to go, it's going to be a tough situation for John Elway.
Elway with the ball at the 19-yard line. So it's 4th and 21 yards for a first down. He had his man, Watson, on the last play, but this is it. If he can't make 21 or more, the Pittsburgh Steelers will go to Miami.
The officials have taken a timeout briefly as they run down the field. Maybe we can take a chance to show you a few of the men who have contributed greatly to the success of these two teams during the year. The assistant coaches. Well, and there they've lined up. We'll wait till after this play. Ah, there they are. Blackledge, Dungy, Fitzgerald, Hope, Hughes, Pope, Myers, Moore. These are all Steeler assistants.
Yeah, they get little credit, but all the work, don't they?
They do a tremendous amount of work.
Here it is, 4th down. 21. 3-man rush. Elway needs something big. And there's it out deep, but it's out of bounds. And that's it. The Steelers can start to celebrate.
It will not be a year of celebration for Dan Reeves now that they are out of this situation and out of the playoffs, but they have had a fantastic season. Reeves and his assistant coaches have just really brought a team that was expected, even by their own scribes in Denver, to finish in the bottom third of the NFL. And they have just had a tremendous year.
You saw Knoll saying 3 timeouts. I don't know if he was referring to himself. He certainly wouldn't want to call time. Denver's already used one of theirs, so they have only 2.
Ron Blackledge there by the side of Chuck Knoll, and you sense the disappointment. I think especially on the faces of the Denver Bronco veterans like Reuben Carter and Barney Shalis, some who've been around for a long time, Tom Jackson.
All right, Denver uses a timeout, and we want to acknowledge those who have brought you the pictures and sounds from Denver today. Executive producer, NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC's football coverage is Ted Nathanson. Today's game was produced by Larry Cirillo and directed by Ted Nathanson. Our technical director, Jim Marshall. Associate director, John Libretto. Associate producer, Jeff Himes. And, of course, all of our technicians, cameramen, sound people, our thanks for the effort today. There were some very special moments provided by the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Pittsburgh, thanks to an Eric Williams interception and return to the 2-yard line and Frank Pollard's great running throughout the day, they have bested an injured John Elway and the Denver Broncos and earned a trip to Miami.
Dick, you were only a couple of yards away from having your prediction come true as Williams virtually got into the end zone, but he stepped out of bounds first, certainly setting up the touchdown score.
The Steelers 3-5 lifetime against the Dolphins, but they've never won in Miami, and they weren't expected to be there this year. Remember, some were saying they wouldn't even make the playoffs as they struggled late in the season.
He's calling Mark Malone off the sideline. Keith Bishop, number 54, reflecting the very somber mood of the Broncos. And Dick, every game like this has its what-ifs, but I'm sure here in Denver, the big what-if will be the question of what would have happened if John Elway had not been injured, if he hadn't hurt his groin, what that would have done in this second half for the Denver offense. There's no question it hurt him tremendously.
Now Denver cannot stop the clock. They've used their final timeout with 1:02 remaining. Now it's a matter, one of the things that I still feel that football could improve if you didn't win the game by doing this, that you should make a legitimate attempt at trying to advance the football, but that's only one lonely voice in the crowd. 24-17. And the clock will run, as will some of the tears.
Gerald Wilhite, Tom Jackson.
Bronco assistants you talked about, Merlin. Fran Polsfoot. He says, I just want to live long enough to see my Broncos in the Super Bowl. That dream won't come true. Boy, they played so hard for that man.
They have had a great year or two. There's no reason for this Bronco team to have anything but pride in the kind of season they've had. You saw the 2 leaders on the sideline, Collier and Reeves.
Well, there's going to be one final opportunity for Denver, because with 26 seconds left and 4th and 14, as soon as the next snap is made and a touch of the quarterback, change of possession will stop the clock. So presumably the Broncos will have around 20 seconds left, a chance at a play or two in desperation. So Elway's arm will uncork again.
The one thing that has to go through the mind of Bronco fans and coaches and players alike is how well they have done with a young team, how far they've come. And they start with a big jump on next season. they will certainly be counted among the favorites for the playoffs in 1986.
Well, some would consider this a risk if indeed Anderson is going to try a field goal, in that a blocked field goal could bounce the other way. Presumably a 40-yard attempt to clinch the win.
This might be in an attempt to get his confidence back, Dick.
And that won't help. It's wide to the right. So Anderson, who has been brilliant and the most accurate of all active kickers, misses 3 out of 4 today. And he was barely good on the 28-yard shot. So it's the last chance for Denver.
He was so eager to get here today, and Elway goes on the field with just seconds left in the ball game, no timeouts. I think that they wanted to get this young man's confidence back. He cannot believe it. He cannot believe he can't get that ball between the uprights.
Well, the Broncos want to make their fans believe, many of whom have headed for home. Out of the shotgun, 22 seconds left and no timeouts for Elway. Watson, but he's in the field of play, and there's no way to stop the clock. 13, 12. Elway needs to take the snap and throw it on the ground, and he's not even doing that. Too late now. 1 second. He will have one play. 1 second left. Reminder to stay with us. Ahmad Rashad trying to get some of the comments from the players involved in today's game, if time permits. I want to thank also the Corps de Costanza, our statistician Joe, Al King, Ron Talpers, Ray Friedman, Cliff Dodge for their support in the booth. We'll be heading to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl on Tuesday, and then on to Miami for the AFC Championship game. The Dolphins apparently against the Steelers, but here's the final play of the game, unless there's a penalty. Look at the Steeler defense. They have been way back at the 25-yard line in their own half of the field. Even Elway's arm won't get to the other end zone.
Hoping for a penalty. They won't get it.
And the ball game's over. The Steelers have won it 24-17. So today, the day for the underdog. The Bears beat Washington, and Denver is upset by the Steelers. Dan Reeves searching out Chuck Noll. They both said the running game would be the key. The Steelers were the superior runners, and through Frank Pollard's efforts have won 24-17. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen. We'll see you New Year's. Stay tuned for NFL 84 right after this.